Alright guys, here's a quick update on the crypto market. This is my first video that I've made since I got hacked, so my OBS settings, hopefully my mic is alright. There's still a couple things I gotta change, but here we go. So this is the Bitcoin chart on the 2-hour time frame. This isn't going to be a super detailed update because we are pretty much range bound, but I'm going to give you a couple intra-week, intraday levels to trade here. So starting out, levels to the downside. The main level that I have marked is this SR level high. The other level that I would mark along with this is this liquidity wick right here. I think it'd be a good scenario to come down, kind of break that high, wick into this, and then still close above here for a long trade. I think that'd fake a lot of people out, fill in some of this volume imbalance, and then continue to the upside. And I think that would stop out a lot of traders and get people even more bearish. Like, you know, if we did something like this, came down, came below this low, fake a lot of people out for like a mid time frame reversal. I think it'd be absolutely perfect. Where price goes in the meantime, I'm not too concerned about. Just need to be ready as we approach these lower zones. We have like a potential deviation. Like there's a lot of stuff that I haven't drawn on here, like deviation, fibs, VWAPs, all that kind of stuff. I'm keeping it pretty simple here. So this, these volume profiles are the weekly profile. And the main thing I want you guys to know on here is this weekly naked point of control around $86,000. I think that's a super key level to keep your eye on this week. A trade scenario that I see for that is a move to the upside, taking out that naked point of control. A close back below previous week high would be really, really bearish in my opinion. From that point, I would kind of expect a rotation, at least a weekly open, but more than likely down here. If we get a really bearish close below there. And then a key level to the upside here. Right now, we're currently trading at this monthly open. That's been a really, really key SR level. Not only that, but it's also previous week value area high. In order to claim this, I would like to see a consolidation above it, something like this, start to build value above last week's value area high. Let us know that there's actually buying interest there, not just like getting these low time frame moves and then coming back down. Actual interest in buying up there and then get a move to the upside. So consolidation above that, in my opinion, leaning bullish. How we reacted previous week high in this naked point of control is really, really important. Those are the main two levels to keep an eye on. To the upside, obviously there's more higher. We've got a volume profile value area high, and if we're able to get above this point of control, there's not a whole lot holding us down. So a rotation back up to this value area high, if we claim this point of control, I wouldn't be surprised at all. So that's something to keep an eye out for. We're still really early in the week, so if we break out, I'd be looking for a back test long, or if we fail to break out, come back inside the range, I'd be looking for a short to take it down to here. Obviously, these aren't direct signals, but you got to have your levels marked and have both scenarios to be ready for. Levels to the downside, we already kind of bounced off of this weekly open. Really nice. We didn't really like deviate away from it, so I wasn't too interested in trading it. But taking out this low from London, I believe, and then bouncing in New York, that was absolutely perfect. So nice trade for at least a scalp right there. To the downside, like I just said, daily level, a weekly pivot, a previous week EQ, and then we've got a previous week value area low. So as far as a key zone to hold, this is absolutely crucial. I'm going to be looking for longs here. We kind of have like, just overall a really good range low. If we want to kind of at least range or kind of trend up this week, in my opinion, this is a really key zone to hold. Once we lose that, there's not a whole lot lower. Like we have some support like down here, maybe taking out this liquidity wick for a bounce, but intraday we have a little range. Like I said, I didn't draw everything on here, so you guys can kind of get your own ideas. But you know, taking out this low, deviating, and then move to the upside, I think also a really, really good scenario. So levels to the downside, this area between 81,400 and 8,800, a very, my opinion, high probability bounce. Then I showed you the levels to the upside, and then the levels lower. So not a crazy detail. Oh, one more thing that I was potentially looking at here was if we don't go and take this high out first, there is a potential harmonic in play if we were to stop out here. And this also lines up really, really nicely with the zone that we already have built. So that's just a bit of an added confluence type of trade. Overall, we're inside the value areas of the week, of the day, or sorry, not of the day, but of the week, below last week's value area. So just really, really range bound until we can claim either side. And then that's when, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday come around, I'm going to be looking to be a little bit more aggressive and start to take some positions. Same thing on ETH, not a whole lot going on here. We have last week's value area high, value area low. Again, need to build value above these to expect a rotation up to, like I would say the previous month low would be a good target. You also have just the SR level, if this will load, over here. But super, super range bound, just trading in between last week values. It's just battle between bulls and bears, or just simply lack of volume to break out on either side. Price is just ranging, building liquidity for what's likely to come a bigger move here in the next couple weeks or month. So a level I would watch to the downside is this liquidity. Very, very nice level right there. It's actually a tap daily right there too. I didn't recognize that when I first took a look at it. Tap weekly as well as check monthly. Okay, so tapped weekly level and a liquidity level. So a scenario you can already kind of start to recognize would be a sweep of our range low, really, really nice range low. Lots of liquidity below these lows. Sweep this low, sweep the liquidity we have marked, tapped weekly, come back into the range, take your long trade, stop loss below there, and then expect a rotation somewhere into where the values are for this range. So that's a really, really good scenario. Another liquidation cascade I feel like is a little bit less likely, because if you take a look at this volume profile I was looking at earlier, including last range, you can see that there's actually more volume at a specific price in this range from March 10th to the current day. So in 1 week, we have more volume at a specific price than we did from February 2nd. I mean, you can kind of include this, but to February 25th. Or sorry, February 25th. So if that doesn't tell you that there's actually, despite this ranging, there's still a good amount of volume, potentially accumulation going on, I don't know what else there's to tell you. But when I see that, I get the idea of one more fake out scenario a little bit lower. If that's just taking this out, that's totally fine. But a deviation a little bit lower, come back into this range. And if we do come back into this range, price, in my opinion, would then start to be pretty bullish. Like get a move at least up to these highs, probably back into the range, back to these highs. Like there's a scenario in ETH I'm looking at that's definitely a bullish case, which in my opinion is a little bit more likely than just seeing a whole nother big nuke to the downside. Although that's possible, I'd expect some relief here in the meantime. So ETH intra-week, intraday levels, nothing crazy. I'll show you this real quick. We do have a naked point of control on the daily time frame that aligns with previous week open. Last week's candlestick open was right here. I kind of just put them together because they were at a really similar price point. But naked point of control with the previous week open, you can also kind of get the idea that, again, I didn't mark everything, but little range deviation to the upside, come back below here on ETH would also be pretty bearish, and I'd expect a rotation lower. So whenever we're range bound, as soon as we break out, you're looking for large breakouts and back tests. Large breakout, back test. You're looking for simple liquidity grabs of the range high, or you're looking for deviation, move below, and back test of that high. It's really, really simple to trade. You just have to train your brain to recognize which scenario is going on. So big breakouts, don't touch shorts. I would touch longs once we get a back test. Deviations, obviously looking for the short trades, but don't touch it until we get back inside the range. And then liquidity grabs, you're looking for those wicks into the level, enter on a market structure change, anything like that. Same thing applies to the downside. This works especially well after a big move to the downside and a lot of volume traded in this range, which obviously we can see. So I'm not going to update everything else. I think we'll keep this pretty simple. As the week progresses, I'm hoping we'll break out one way or another, so I can signal some trades. But as of right now, this is just basic overview of what I'm looking at. Same thing applies for ETH as Bitcoin. They're really, really similar. Need to build value above this last week's value or high to expect to move up. Until then, it's just simply lack of buyers. And then we're just going to stay range bound. So let's see if there's anything else I should go over. Pretty sure that was it. I want to take a look at this monthly real quick. It'll load. Sorry, I'm running stuff in the background. Point of control. Yeah, that's obviously we break higher. Point of control, really, really interesting. We back tested last month's value area low, almost to like the exact dollar there, right here. Obviously we broke out above it first, but a little bit fake out. And then point of control, I'll be looking for 96,250. That's a really, really strong level. Weekly level and a monthly naked point of control. If we can somehow get back inside of this old range, like start building value back above these highs, I wouldn't be surprised to see a rotation like back to last month's value rate high somewhere up here. So hope you guys enjoyed this update. Nothing too crazy going on. Trade safe, trade the range, but peace out.